children, heating our homes and giving people a future. There's all there's money for war, but never for the poor. That must change. This demonstration is about Donald Trump, yes, but it's also about what kind of country we will be. Will we continue to bow to authoritarians and accept racism, misogyny, homophobia, Islamophobia, and anti-Semitism as normal? Or will we stand as a country where every community is safe, where justice and dignity belong to everyone? We know the answer. It's in our placards, it's in our chants, it's alive in our solidarity. So we say loudly and proudly, not in our name, not for Trump, not for Keir Starmer's groveling to US empire, not for the arms dealers, and not for genocide. These are our streets. Whose streets?
Our streets.
Whose streets?
Our streets.
These are our streets. This is our country and it's our future. And together we will fight and defeat the far right and their friends in the high offices. Thank you very much. Solidarity.
Tara Sultana, everybody. Now will you please welcome from Stand Up to Racism. Yeah, it is you, Sabi. Will you please start clapping and cheering? And welcome to the stage from Stand Up to Racism, Sabi Dalu!
Thank you very much. A bit earlier than I thought, but very pleased to address you all. Well done for being here, and thank you for standing up Donald Trump. There is no doubt that the second Donald Trump presidency has emboldened every fascist and racist on the planet. Of course, there is a link between Donald Trump, the platform he has given to the likes of Elon Musk, and the 100,000 strong, sadly, biggest ever demonstration of fascists in British history on Saturday. I was there. I organised that march, and it was very frightening to see how violent and thuggish they were towards us. But that's why it's important for us to stand up to fascism together. Fight back against the So shame on Keir Starmer and the Labour government inviting Donald Trump for a second state visit. That is unprecedented for a US president. Should be going on. The NHS, education, transport, public services, and making British people better off. It should not be going to people like Donald Trump rolling out the carpet to someone who has basically whipped up racism in the US. Someone who has let out people like the Proud Boys and Oath Keepers the moment he became US president. Fascists that were charged and convicted for the Capitol Hill riots. He let them out the moment he became US president. We should not be rolling out the red carpet to people like who basically allowed Elon Musk to give a Nazi salute at his inauguration. We should not be rolling out the red carpet to someone who has basically built the ICE, a modern-day Gestapo that is rounding up immigrants, that is terrorizing immigrants in the US and deporting them in great numbers. Meanwhile, funding far-right Latin American governments and making them stay in concentration camps in Latin America. We should not be rolling out the red carpet to someone who implements policies like that. So I urge you, join the fight back against racism and fascism. These are very dark times. Not only have we seen the biggest far-right demonstration in British history, we're also seeing the far-right Reform UK leading in the polls which showed that they could form a majority at the next general election. This is unprecedented in British electoral history. But I believe, as many have said, that we are the majority. And we need to make our voice heard. The next time fascists march in London, I urge you all to join us. All of you, let's stand together against racism and fascism. Fascism! No Passaran! No Passaran! No Passaran! No Passaran! Fascism is an existential threat to all of us, to trade unions, to the left, all of us here today, to Muslims, to Jews, to LGBT plus communities, to disabled people. So all of us must stand united and mobilise in our hundreds of thousands the next time fascists take to the streets. But we've also got to challenge this racist narrative. Racism, the far right and fascism, it flourishes during times of economic catastrophe and immigrant blaming and refugee blaming for a crisis created by the government and the 1%. Tell Keir Starmer to stand up and challenge this racism, not feed the narrative that led to over 100,000 fascists marching on the street. We are the many, they are the few. Let's make our voices heard. Join us the next time fascists march. We can beat them back. We've done it before. We'll do it again. Solidarity!
Sabi Dalu from Stand Up to Racism! Will you please now welcome our next speaker, a British Palestinian activist. Please give a massive round of applause to Leanne Mohammed!
In our thousands, in our millions! In our thousands, in our millions! Sisters and brothers, I speak to you today at a time of deep grief and deep responsibility. Nearly 2 years have passed since the genocide in Gaza began. 2 years of horror that will haunt us and history for generations. And let us be clear. Nothing, absolutely nothing is more urgent than ending this genocide and ensuring real accountability. Let me remind you, this genocide is perpetrated by Netanyahu, but it is armed and funded by Trump. Trump has provided the weapons, the money, the diplomatic cover that have been essential to Israel's relentless genocidal assault against the Palestinian people. Billions of dollars in arms, defense systems, and military training have flowed under his watch. He has attacked international law itself, sanctioning the ICC judges who dared to issue arrest warrants for war crimes and crimes against humanity. And now, unbelievably, shamefully, our complicit government has invited him back for a second state visit to Britain. Shame! We say enough! No more arms! No more cowardice! No more state visits for war criminals! We owe it to the people of Gaza, to the cause of justice, and to our own humanity to resist Trump, to resist Netanyahu, and resist every government that enables this genocide. Earlier this year, Trump called for the clean out of Gaza, proposing Palestinians are forcibly displaced to Jordan and Egypt. And in a press conference held alongside wanted war criminal Netanyahu in Washington, he outlined plans for the US to own the Gaza Strip, envisioning it as the Riviera of the Middle East, which would be built, which would be built on the corpses of hundreds of thousands of dead Palestinians, half of them children. This is part of an explicit and concerted effort to destroy us Palestinians as a national group. But let's together remind him that the Palestinians will resist, because living is resistance, breathing is resistance, tanks are resistance, and this is what Trump fails to understand.
remain steadfast on their land. Palestinians will return. Palestine is greater than Trump, Netanyahu, Biden, or all the delusions of war colonizers and war criminals. They will run out of ways to erase us, but we will never run out of ways to exist. Gaza is Palestine and its people are rooted there. Gaza will rebuild, Gaza will flourish, and Gaza will rise, and the Palestinian people are not going anywhere. Trumpism is not just an American disease, it infects our politics here in Britain too. Our government welcomes Trump, courts his allies, and paves the way for the very policies that harm people at home and abroad. And we say, not in our name. We are here to fight for something better, for peace, not endless war, for social justice, not billionaire greed, for a world where every community, every minority, every worker has the right to live with dignity and without fear. We must fight for a society that puts people before profit, dignity before division, and justice before power. Our message is simple. Another world is not only possible, it is necessary. And we are here to build it together. So please join us on October the 11th at the next national demonstration for Palestine. Let's make it the biggest one yet. And I'll end by saying, while Trump calls for the clean out of Gaza, we tell him the only clean out that's needed and the only clean out that will happen is the removal of Israeli colonial occupation from Palestinian land. Thank you. Free, free! Free, free! Free, free! Thank you so much.
Thank you, Leanne. Will you please now welcome from Friends of the Earth, give a massive round of applause to Asa Breman! Friends, we stand here today to send a message that this has never been about one man. It's always been about rejecting the politics he represents, a politics of hate, of injustice, oppression, a politics he has helped spread across the globe. And we're here to say very clearly to our Prime Minister that in the very week that fascist and far-right extremists stood on this exact spot, when black and brown people were told we are not welcome, when Muslims were called to be eradicated, when Elon Musk, the world's richest man, called for the violent overthrow of democracy, to then roll out the red carpet for Donald Trump. That's not diplomacy. It's normalising bigotry. It's legitimising billionaires who profit from planetary growth. It makes our government complicit in his crime. And friends, even as our panic burns and people drown and starve and suffer, Trump denies, Trump delays, and Trump destroys. His drill baby drills, his burn baby burns for the poor. And he sides with the corporations that are ravaging the earth, that are polluting our air, our water, and our land. He undermines climate science. He sides with climate denialism, a denialism that is going hand to hand with his mission to make racism great again. He's built walls and imposed bans. He's taught children from the arms of their parents, scapegoating Muslims, migrants, black and brown people, begging Islamophobia into laws and policy. He's turned violence into governance. But he's not alone. He's part of the global far-right alliance, from Bolsonaro in Brazil to all Hungary, more differently and Netanyahu in Israel. They demonize the other, they embrace authoritarianism, and they're backed by the billionaires, the corporations, and No to this axis of millionaires, fascism and religious extremism, no to legalising genocide, no to saluting cruelty, no to ending the hate and misogyny, no to staying silent on the other side and apart. And I see the statue of Mahatma Gandhi, of Nelson Mandela, and Melissa Forster. They represented the past, but we represent the future of the same fight, the hope of humanity. Like them, we stand for justice, we stand for resistance, and we stand for solidarity. But we must not only defeat the politics that Trump represents. We have to be building something better around the vision of hope and solidarity, of peace, equality, and justice. So, friends, we have to move onwards towards climate justice, for racial justice, for Palestine, against fascism and against hate. Thank you. Solidarity. Thank you. Will you please now welcome the new leader of the Green Party? Please welcome Sam. Of course, we should have a relationship with an American president. But that is very different to what we are seeing today. A man with hands stained in blood for an ongoing genocide, having the red carpet, pomp and ceremony all rolled out for him. And we are gathered here united to say, this is not in our name. Donald Trump is not welcome here, but one man who has thrown his arms open is Nigel Farage. Nigel Farage. Very good reaction. Nigel Farage does not seem to bother about Trump's trade wars, about his banning of books, the so-called free speech champion. He doesn't seem bothered about the genocide in Gaza or his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. And that's because Donald Trump is a bully and Nigel Farage, he's his poodle. And it's not just Trump and Farage, we also have Elon Musk, this trio of con men who were so much a part of Brexit. They represent the inequality in our country, where since the pandemic started, the billionaire wealth in this country has doubled and our assets have been stripped away. And to see these multimillionaires and billionaires, people who are earning more money in their sleep than any of us could possibly imagine, lecture us about British values, about patriotism, is the exact opposite of what we need. So, what do we need? It's right here, right now. This is the answer to Saturday's marches. Racists in the streets chanting. The antidote to that is community organizing. People coming together, having conversations. We must condemn Tommy Robinson. We must condemn Reform MPs. But we must not condemn those people in the country who are feeling scared right now, who are not feeling listened to, who have suffered the consequences of decades of austerity and have been left behind. This is the moment to challenge everything Donald Trump stands for. This is the moment to reject the politics of hate and division, and instead, finally, put at the center the politics of hope, of community, of togetherness and solidarity. And friends, together, that's how we'll change our towns, our cities, our country, and together we can change the world. Thank you in solidarity. Thank you, Zach Polanski. We're now going to be joined by some camera crews from some news agencies that are going to film all of you. So people down the front, if you're skipping work, you're in a lot of trouble. Okay, and your boss happens to work in German television. So what I'm going to ask you to do is on three, give me a say it loud and say it clear. Donald Trump's not welcome here. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Say it loud, say it clear. Say it loud, say it clear. And now just give one huge round of applause for all of the speakers that you've seen on this stage. I'm also going to throw this JD Vance ball into the audience, which may be a bad idea given that I actually have one hand free. Hang on a second. Are you going to do it? Why don't we also have a massive round of applause for our signers, everybody? The JD Vance ball is flying in the air. We're bouncing his distended head all over the shop. I'm now just checking to see that we have... Yeah, okay. Oh, amazing. Yeah. Okay, give us one more cheer. I think we've got... How long is this news report left? They're still filming. Keep applauding. Thank you very much, everybody. Okay, will you please welcome our next speaker to the stand from Tax Justice UK. Please welcome the incredible Faiza Shaheen.
Thank you. Let me start by offering solidarity to those that were arrested last night for projecting images on Windsor Castle. Yeah. The truth shouldn't end you up in a prison cell. And it is a reminder that we are fighting something bigger than Trump. We might be rightly tired of a world run by the most disgusting, self-serving humans imaginable. But we are fighting more than those individuals. We're fighting the poison that they spread and the decay of humanity that they represent. Can you believe that they call this diplomacy? Tell that to the millions that have been bombed and moved by US bombs. Tell that to the children who have lost their legs, the children who have lost their parents. Tell that to the children who won't get to be adults in Gaza. They say that this is about building a stronger Britain. Well, tell that to the women who have lost their bodily autonomy, to the immigrants terrorized by ICE, and to the scientists silenced on climate change. They say this is about jobs and investment. Well, tell that to those of us that were scared to walk in our very streets on Saturday. Tell that to us that have been fighting the far right. Because we know there is a direct line